Is the red light on? Is the red light on?
Red light's on. I'm still eating pizza.
That's great. We're eating Mountain Mike's Pizza. Always like to show it off. 2 locations. Stockdale, California is my favorite location. The other one's in the Southwest. Head over. Say hi to Mike Griffith. Griff's the man, first of all. Second of all, the pizza's delicious. Third of all, great lunch buffet. I think it's like $7.85 or something like that, and you get a salad too.
Yeah, feel free to mix it in.
I was going to say, always nice to mix in a salad. Ryan Holt, Kevin DeBartle. We're joined by Condors head coach Gerry Fleming. This is Coach's Corner, Bakersfield.com, My45 as well. Welcome on the My45 network, 11:30 a.m. on Saturdays. My45, 11:30 to 12. Coach, how are you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Booster Club. Christmas party last night for the guys and for the team. How was that?
It was awesome. They did a great job. Good meal, good company, good time. Everybody enjoyed themselves.
At Hotels, too. Yeah. Great spot.
Where were you
Hotels
guys?
is great.
Yeah. I needed an invite. Dolores.
You got an invite.
Dolores, I need an invite. I need an invite. I didn't hear any invite.
He's full of it.
We'll get you there. We'll get him next time, Dolores.
Obviously, the news over the last couple of days, Ty Rimmer called up from the ECHL. Rim's had a very good week in the ECHL, named ECHL Goaltender of the Week. But because of an injury to Laurent Brossoit, what's kind of his prognosis here moving forward for LB?
Yeah, LB hurt himself on the last goal in San Jose the other night in overtime, so he wasn't able to push across. So he'll be out for a week. We did an MRI yesterday. It's not as bad as we maybe first anticipated, which is good news. But he'll be sidelined for a minimum of a week right now. So we brought up Ty. Like you said, he's performed well here over the last couple of games. Had a big weekend down there. So we're expecting big things from him. So, yeah, it's good to have him here. Actually, obviously, we'd like LB to be ready to go, but that's not the case. And Rimmer's going to come up and do a great job for us.
No matter who the goalie is, I mean, or how long he's out, you don't want to lose a goaltender as a coach. When you see your goalie kind of come out, gosh, you start to get a little nervous or what?
Well, any player, you don't like to see any of your guys go down, but LB's had a good run here, obviously. He's a big part of our team, and, we don't like to see him hurt, but it's part of the game. Injuries are going to happen, and you have to just deal with them and move on and get guys better and back in the lineup and ready to go.
Wild weekend up in San Jose. The Condors fall behind 4-1, but you had to like the way this team responded coming out in that second period and then into the third to at least salvage a point, get to overtime, and find a way to get a point out of that game.
Oh, definitely. There's peaks and valleys, and there's points in the season where you turn corners and you grow as a team, and I thought that was a good building block for us, to be down 4-1 going into the second and just chipping away and pecking away and coming at them and not dying and having that sense of urgency into our game. It was nice to see.
Where's the offense coming from? All of a sudden, I mean,
it's coming from everybody.
They're just pouring in right now.
We've scored a lot of goals, but in the same breath, we'd like to tighten up on our defense. We've allowed maybe a few too many goals here over the last couple of games. We'd like to cut that down and obviously continue to produce offensively and put pucks in the net.
Nonsense. 5-4, 6-5.
Like
These are great games.
Yeah.
Let's
They're
go.
great for the fans. Yeah, they are. They're fantastic.
A couple of Condors had some big weeks. Josh Curry steps into the lineup. We talked a lot about guys needing to play roles that maybe they weren't expected to play coming into this season. Here's a guy in Josh Curry, maybe going into the year, didn't know if he was going to get to the American Hockey League, but he takes advantage of his opportunity and has a big weekend.
Yeah, he sure has. He's come in and he's played well. He's killed penalties. We've used him, in all types of different situations. He's been strong on draws for us. Right-handed centerman, he understands the game. He has a good knowledge. He sees the ice well, and he works hard. His work ethic is second to none. He works hard in practice, and, that's a given. I think that we talk about this as a group all the time when people say we work hard. Well, that should be a given. That shouldn't even be part of the equation. Everybody has to work hard, but he definitely elevates other guys that he plays with, makes them better, and you'll always like to see that in players.
Jujhar Khaira up, gets on the board, gets his first NHL point. Just another guy moving on up and performing well. He has the type of game that it seemed like it would equate well to the National Hockey League style. I mean, he can go out there and he can bang bodies and he can move and play in different situations.
You're absolutely right. He's a big body. His game is very conducive to the NHL. He's got a long stick. He uses his stick well. He takes angles. He's strong. He's strong on his stick. He's heavy. He can play the wing. He can play center. He can kill penalties. So it's just nice to see him get a shot with some good players. He's playing big minutes. Hopefully he can just continue to grow upon his early success and just build upon it and get better and better as he goes forward.
He's going to be on the show today, but we talk about guys not being in traditional positions that they might have figured at the beginning of the season. You got Joey LeLegier here playing forward over the last week, but just another guy who stepped in, filled a role when this team has needed it.
Joey's done a great job. I think it gives you a different perspective, a different way of looking at the game when you play up front. And then today we used him on the back end in practice. And again, you get to see the game a little bit differently. You understand what's happening as a forward. You understand where they're going to be a little bit better. You understand moving the puck is important. So, him having that versatility of playing both defense and forward is just an asset to his game.
Every D-man secretly wants to be a forward.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Of course they do. They like scoring goals. Everybody likes to
Get in
score
there
goals. Even I like to score goals.
Hammer the D-men against the glass. Like, how's that feel? I know they like it.
Exactly.
We have some video over the week. We talked about it a little bit before the game on Friday night. Penalty kill has kind of been a focus here. I mean, as it always is, but kind of a renewed focus here over the last week on the penalty kill and some clips from the game on Friday night.
Kev, I'm going to cut you out here a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, shoulder him. Just give him the body.
What you're going to see here off the draw, if we can pause it right here, one thing we ask guys to do, you have to have a set plan going in off of any draw, and especially PK, because if you win the PK, you get the puck down the ice, you're looking at anywhere between 15 and 20 seconds of kill time. So what we ask our forwards to do here, is our D-man actually, is to step into the inside. As soon as the puck's dropped, get this guy in your back, get this guy in your back, get the puck. Now they have to work around you. So that's one of the first things. Another thing is we have a plan. We have 4 or 5 different set face-offs off of PK, off of D-zone coverage that we use based on our scouting reports on other teams. In this particular instance, we lose the draw. So if we lose the draw, all right, we ask our centerman to come out with a good angle, be in the shooting lane and a good stick, and hustle out to the points with the long stick.
Roll it here.
So if we can let it go here. In this particular instance, we lose the draw. We come out with a long stick. We ask guys to attack the points with good angles. We push them back down. Now, if we rewind it right here, we ask what we call our weak side forward is our T intersection guy right here. Now we ask him to hold the middle because most teams set up in a 1-3 run where they have one guy on the top, they'll have the flanks, they'll have a guy in the middle, and they'll have a guy net front. So it's important that the T intersection forward has dual responsibility. He's got to judge whether this guy's on his one-timer side, where he's an option to shoot right off to the one-timer, so he's got to position himself a little bit differently. Or if he's on his strong side, he's a high-tip threat, or he's going to move the puck. So Porto does a good job. We ask guys to keep guys out of the middle to push them to the outside. Now, once this puck comes back to the top here, if we can run it, we ask Kess, and it's so important, so vital that if you're going to have any success, you got to have not only your forwards blocking shots, but everybody blocking shots. So we get the puck down, and now we go into our PK forecheck, which we like to call the floating diamond. If we can pause it right here, if we can rewind it just a little bit, and I'm sorry for the delays. If we can pause it right here.
You never have to apologize.
No. We ask our middle forward to be disciplined and just hold the lane. The flanks we worry about, we kick it out to this side where we have a forward on the flank, we have a D-man on the other flank, and we have a D-man in the middle to pick up anything that cuts on the inside, and we ask them to all have good sticks. And the separation, the gap between our top forward and our middle D has got to be tight, so it really kind of eliminates that pass through the middle right here.
I mean, it really clogs up the whole center,
so
and
we
nobody's
try to
backpedaling.
Exactly. We try to kick it out to the flanks right here, which they do if we can run it. We try to dend at it if we have an opportunity before the blue line. We get it in here. And now we always talk about pressure up ice, whether it's on the boards, we take the quarterback away. If we can put pressure up ice, if the first forward's going, obviously the second forward's got to be up there too. And our D have to gauge on whether or not they have a stretch guy, 1 or 2. And if they do have 2 stretch guys, they got to be a little more disciplined and hang back. All right.
And then you have 2 turnovers off of 1 forecheck because they get the puck, but
That's
then
right.
they just throw it up the center of the ice.
Exactly. So if we can let this one roll here, this is in zone. Again, attacking with a long stick. We lost a face-off. He pushes him down to the outside. Our T intersection guy is ready to pop his stick if he's a threat. Now that seam pass right here, that's almost a shared responsibility, again, between our strong side forward having a good stick. And it's always important to have your stick on the ice, whether it's 5-on-5, whether you're killing penalties, to always have your stick on the ice and be in a good posture, not bending over, not cracking at the hips, because if you get checked, you're going to be off balance. So just maintaining good hockey posture is what we like to call it. We get a save right there from LB.
Now, you always hear the expression, your goaltender needs to be your best penalty killer sometimes.
And he does.
But there are opportunities where the goaltender, he knows that, all right, if the puck's funneled here, we're not going to have a guy necessarily in front. That's kind of my responsibility in a 5-on-4.
You're absolutely right. We go through this in our pregame meeting when we do our pre-scout of San Diego, for example's power play. We understand how they're going to set up, what their tendencies are, who their shooters are, who their passers are, what they like to do off face-offs, what they like to do when they get the puck in certain situations. So LB has a good idea, as do the penalty killers, of what's going to happen and where they're going to have their best advantage to get the puck down the ice and get possession of the puck.
And then one last clip in zone again.
Again, we lose the draw, all right? Pause it right here. In this situation right here, what we like to do is we tell our guys to swarm. So if we can just take it back a couple of frames here. Perfect. So in this situation right here, we'd like to obviously be on the defensive side on the puck. I think this is Simmer on the wall right here. He'd like to protect it. And what we'd like to do is we don't want them to have any kind of time and space in there. So we'd ask our net D to vacate, stay on the defensive side here. We'd ask our strong side forward to stay on the defensive side right here. And we'd ask our inside D, our strong side D, to be on the strong side right here. We'd ask our weak side forward to get here. So our options are, if they do win the battle or kick it up to the point, everybody's in their lane, and you come off and you don't get beat back to the net. But right here, our options are we can kick it behind, we can bump it to this guy, but we get a little bit late here. If we can roll it. Fordo attacks with the long stick. We've got our T intersection guy. We don't get beat back to the net. Again, important, forcing, hinging right here. In this opportunity, when the guys are outside the dots, normally if this guy were to walk with the puck, we'd ask our strong side forward to stay in that shooting lane, and if he moved it back to this area right here, his momentum will carry him and walk him down the wall. Our T intersection guy would just fold underneath. So a lot of teams will roll their flank right up here, try to hit this guy with open ice. So we ask our T intersection guy to fold underneath. So if they do beat the guy that's come out right here, our T intersection guy will front that shot because it's too high for our D-man to come up and front the shot.
Perfect.
So if we can roll it, again, block shots, paramount, we come out with a long stick. We'd like to see our guys kind of piston right there. And what we call piston, if we can take it back right here, when guys are outside the dot and they make that pass, all right, it's too far for this guy. If he's come out with a long stick and they move the puck cross ice, it's too far for him to go. So what would happen is he would piston back. His first step would be to jam on the brakes, put his stick in the passing lane right here so they don't create a seam. Why this guy right here, the T intersection guy, holds for a second. He'll get out in the shooting lane, and that's what we call pistoning.
That's phenomenal.
I love it.
And great work on the PK.
Yeah,
and then an easy save.
And no, it's not an easy save.
Oh,
And what
take it
happens
back.
right here is you'll see a lot of teams now, and we got scored against this in the other night actually, is a lot of teams will hit their net front guy, and he will blind pass it to their guy coming down the flank right here. So that's the D-man's responsibility. Anything in tight to the blue and it's a backdoor pass, we ask our D-man. LB knows that this play is coming. He's got to stay disciplined and stay with the shooter and with the puck. So LB knows that this guy's either going to throw it blind, or D-man's in a position where he's not going to get boxed out by this guy where he gets beat by the pass and then it's an open backdoor play. He's going to maintain the top of the blue with a good stick, and he knows LB's going to take the shooter right here. And that's what happens. Puck goes down. If we can run it.
Oh,
No, that's
all right.
about it.
It cuts
But
off there.
that's
But
how,
he makes the save.
That's
He
how it
covers
plays. That's how it plays out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope I wasn't long-winded there.
No,
there's a lot of things going on,
that's
but
perfect.
it's a big part of the game. Special teams obviously can be a difference between winning and losing, and making the playoffs and not making the playoffs.
And it has
Power
been for
play
this
goals.
Condors team.
Yeah, power play goals have just been going in on both sides right now over the last 4 or 5 games.
Well, the biggest thing, and you mentioned earlier when I was watching, and was we're doing a great job, I think, of getting in goaltender's eyes and taking the eyes away. And if you can't see the puck and it doesn't hit you, chances are it's going in the back of the net. It's something that we focused on, and our guys, our net front guys, have done a good job of taking goalies' eyes away. And now credit to our flanks and our top guys, our shooters, have done a good job of getting it past their first forecheck coming out to block the shots. And as a result, it's ending up in the back of the net.
Before we let you go, holidays coming up. Favorite Christmas or holiday movie of Gerry Fleming?
Ooh, there's a few. Obviously, Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase is a big
classic.
hit. Yeah.
That was the bus movie. Couple.
I love the
trips ago.
Grinch, the
Oh,
cartoon,
right.
The Grinch.
Cartoon,
Yeah. I love that little dog when he goes under the sled and he gives a little wave and he's got the antler on his head. I just love that. There's a lot. Elf is a good one.
So you're a big holiday guy. Yeah.
Kind of Christmas Story is a classic.
Yeah.
I
Shoot
love
your
it.
eye
Shoot
out,
your
kid.
eye out.
Yeah, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. Yeah, it's great. Some
Jerry,
great movies. Thanks, guys.
appreciate the time as always.
Thank
Thanks
you
for coming on.
Thanks, guys. That's
Condors head coach Gerry Fleming. When we come back, Joey LaLeggia will join us. We'll chat about his start to the season, also about being here in Bakersfield out in California. When we
Playing a little golf.
Yeah, a little golf mixed in. Tracy Leach will join us, so we'll make some picks. Don't go anywhere. Bakersfield.com, My45. This is Condors Unleashed.